look who's here. Look at this guy here. Uh-huh. Oh, what do we have here, Dr. Fred?
Hi, Dr. Bob. Barefoot boy with shoes.
It's a pleasure to see you, you handsome young man.
Oh, he's talking.
What did you bring here, anyway? What are you up to, young man?
Huh?
You're looking great, by the way.
Thank you. I had an accident about a month ago.
Yeah, I did too. I thought about my ex-wife. Started sharpening knives. Oh, good job. And there they are.
And I showed it. I don't know if this makes sense to you at all, but that's just my philosophy.
Oh yeah,
What you give out, you get back.
But you created a flow. You
That's
created
right.
a connection.
Correct. With all my students, I do the same thing.
Everybody else was blocking it.
I bless my students, and I always ask the universe, what can I give them that nobody else can give? And they're all on scholarships. They all get college scholarships. As a matter of fact, a week from tonight, the National Society of Arts and Letters is having this big formal banquet, which I have to go to because two of my students, Dean Sierra and Amy Sheffer, both won big awards. And they want me there because I trained them. And so reluctantly I'm going because I don't like stuffy affairs. And I said to her, look, I don't have a tux. I got rid of my tuxes and my tails when I moved down here. I don't do that work anymore. I don't perform anymore. She said, just wear a dark suit. So I have to be there at 6:30 at the Brooks restaurant. And,
Yeah, I know Brooks. Yeah.
So the whole point is that my students are just flourishing. And I just wrote an article. I've written a chapter in my book, and I felt I had to write it again because people are not getting the message. When I was like 20 years old and I won the Rogers and Hammerstein Award, and Rogers published me and he became my sponsor, I became his protege, everybody went bent over backwards to help me. And I never said thank you because this stuck-up little prick here thought, well, that's the way the world works, I'm entitled to it. It doesn't work that way because they may help you once, but they're not going to help you again. And then like 10 years later, I found myself a very unhappy camper, and I realized what was wrong once I got into metaphysics, and I realized the first law, if you want to prosper, is to always say thank you. If somebody does a favor for you, you write them a thank you note. You tell them how much you appreciate it. Because it comes back to you, they'll help you over and over and over again. Kurt has saved my life, God knows how many times with that software, and I always say to him, there's nobody in the world like you. You're the most marvelous friend I've ever had. He knows I care.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And so that's the way the world works. And I have this one student of mine. She had the lead in West Side Story. It was just closed this Sunday. And I was supposed to go see it with her mother, because I don't drive at night, on Friday or Saturday, and I never got a phone call. And the mother calls me Sunday morning and says, can I pick you up to take you to see the show? I said, no. It's my student's birthday on Sunday. It's Amy Sheffer. She's won all these awards. And her mother's birthday present is taking me out to, was it Luxor, the big thing in, a big new restaurant in the mall there, with all the columns.
No, I didn't know that. What mall? Town Center?
Town Center.
I didn't even know about it.
Oh, it's where,
I mean, legal seafood or something?
no, it's a big one. My God, they spent millions rebuilding it.
No, I haven't
It's
been
2
there.
stories high. I think it's called Luxor. It's like has an Egyptian theme, very, very expensive and hard to get into. So they took me there for dinner, and then they took me to the concert by Renee Fleming, who was fabulous, absolute gorgeous voice. And I was so happy, and I was not going to turn that down and give that up to see my student on a Sunday when I was promised Friday or Saturday. But what hurt me is she was phenomenal. Everybody's talking about they've never seen a performance like that with Broadway caliber, and I trained her. I worked with her on the part. And when she had problems, I made sure that she was able to do it. She never said thank you. The mother called me and thanked me over and over and over again. She said, you've done wonders with my daughter. You're a miracle worker. But I don't want it to come from the mother. I wanted a thank you from her.
Yeah, right.
Well, she's coming
Sure.
for a lesson Saturday at 11. I'm not going to say anything. But she has to learn, because she's a beautiful person, she's a beautiful soul, that if she wants to get ahead in this world, that she has to say thank you to the people that help her. And I'm afraid if I say it, she's going to think that I'm miffed and I want something from her, which I don't.
Well, she has to learn the lesson herself, you're right.
Yeah.
You get it. I remember when I saw you first time, you know, up till then, my idea of improving on the piano, there's only two ways you go. You either become a classical player, you know, and you do all that stuff, or you become, you know, toward Oscar Peterson. And those were the only two roads that I really saw open. And I, you know, so I wasn't that much into the piano. I could cover the gigs, and it was all right. But you opened me up to a whole new way of orchestrally playing.
Yeah, but look what you opened me up to. You opened me up to these two.
Well, see, it all comes around.
It all comes around.
But everything I do on the piano, I mean, like 90% of it is because of what I learned from you.
But I'm so happy to give that to you.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
It's true.
Thank you.
It's a whole new...
I love
A little round of applause for that, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
God bless you all.
It's
Okay, I have a student.
built me up, you know.
His name is Ron Giuliani, R-H-O-N-E. He's a senior at Dreyfus. He's all of 17 or 18. He's the most phenomenal pianist I've ever heard. He plays now better than I ever did. He has a harmonic sense, can improvise unbelievably well. He wanted me to teach him. And I said, well, what do you want me to teach you? I said, you play rings around. He says, that's not that. He said, but you know how to compose. I want to learn how to compose. So I started teaching theory and counterpoint and teaching him the building blocks of creating music. Because as I said to him, just as an architect has archetypes that he uses, like on his CAD, he knows where to put a column here and a corner here and so forth and so on. When he knows how to use this is what makes him a trained architect. He went to school to learn this. I said, all architecture is frozen music. I mean, that's what Ernest Tock said. I didn't make that up. And I said, there are building blocks to composing and putting things together. And once you know these building blocks, you can do anything. So one of these building blocks is like working with motifs. So I would say, pick out 5 notes on the piano. I don't care if they're distant or whatever it is, D, 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 D. Okay. Now, we're going to use this as your palette. Make believe you're an interior designer. You're going to use this as your palette to create something. So we started creating melodies, and I started teaching him what sequences were. I said, when you take a portion of something and you repeat it, it's a musical sequence. If you...
There's the Chopmeister. I just want to get a little picture of what we're having tonight. Tonight is...
Watching. He's got a knife.
Yeah, it's sharp instruments in his hand there. There it is right there. Oh, look at that stealth move. Yep. Scallops and shrimp.
Yeah, well, that's going to be
Scallions and mushrooms and garlic and
garlic and parsley and
butter and
everything
stuff.
else.
That's tonight.
It's all there.
We're having shrimp and scallop scampi. Is that about right?
Right.
Okay. All right.
Like a winner to me.
He's the indoor chefmeister, and Kurt is doing this one tonight. This is his deal.
That's working for me right now. I'm going to
Okay. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
A couple of minutes before I put that on, because
right.
then I'm going to put all this together at the same time. Well, almost.
Repeat that, young man.
The food is wonderful, and Dr. Bob is wonderful. How could I...
You want to repeat that again?
How could I ever live without Dr. Bob around?
There's Mikey over here.
This is really good. You know what we really... Never mind.
No. We could put a sign out front.
No.
No. Mm-mm.
Well, this is what it looks like, folks. Dun da 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 da.
All right.
It's a brand new page.
That's good. Now we're going to resave that. That's good. I'd love to know what that chord is before. Yeah, that's pretty.
Exchanging roles, I become you, can't you see?
Oh, wait, let's stop and fix that note because we're going to resave it.